design and all that. So this room is called Merdeka. It's one of the most important history about the country. So the independence of Malaysia. No flag. No flag. Yeah, probably the colors here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna pass the floor to Marc. Marc is from Google Malaysia.
So selamat datang. Thank you. There's no mic here, so I hope that you guys at the end can hear.
Okay. Yeah, all of you.
Cool.
For the past 6 years. So we started off with a country consultant, and then we moved like an MD here. Then I joined, and then more people joined, and now we have like a large office. So we initially had like a shoebox office in KLCC, because Google back then had a bit of money, so they thought, okay, most prestigious address, KLCC, right? But the funny thing is that you go through all this tight security, you go through two lifts, and you go to your shoebox office, and you can't see anything. There's no like a grand, twin tower to see, so it was a bit of a disappointment. And then we moved to Menara City Bank in 2012, right? It was still a service office. We had like 10 people. And then as they say, revenue solves all problem, we had a bit of traction in terms of like financials. So Mothership decided to give us like a space on our own, hence this office. So if you guys haven't been for a tour, later we can take you for a tour. Yeah. So my name is Marc. I'm actually the employee number 1 in Google Malaysia. So I was hired in Google Malaysia. The MD transferred over from Singapore, and it's been 5 years, right? I've been 5 years. I've been in Google Malaysia, and I'm now heading the sales and partnership division in Google, right? So Marcus, reached out and say, hey, can you do an opening and inspire these guys, right, to do great work. Then I'm like, huh? But these guys are the experts, and this is growth hacking, the most vague term ever created, right? So I was just like, maybe I'll just share certain things from my personal experience, share certain things that I witnessed from Google of how they go about doing growth hacking and grew their user base. And hopefully you guys will take away something. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, right? So my personal story started with this. So my uncle dropped out of, I think it was high school. He was in St. John's back then. Then he just couldn't take the syllabus. He dropped out, and then he did a startup on his own, right? He sold spare parts in Malaysia. So he has an office now in Jalan Ipoh. So he started from small. His business did well, and then eventually, it grew very big. So what happened was that he was still a very traditional sort of like a businessman, right? Selling parts to workshops in Malaysia, selling parts to like distributors, dealers in Malaysia. And he has a problem. He has a problem with inventory. So his inventory is that the problem is that he has a lot of products that are not moving fast enough, right? And his factory space is like running out of basically real estate lah. So we were just talking about it one day over Mamak. So he likes to go to Mamak and talk until the wee hours. So we were just saying that hey, you know what? So me and my brother, we said, you know what? Like there's like you can actually reach out to the international customers, right? You can reach out to international customers. You can sell your stuff online and then just ship it whenever a transaction goes through. It's like it's too complicated. But we said, okay, give us a few products and then we'll test it out. Small items, right? So we took actually the door handles, right? And these ones sell the best. It cost him about 15 ringgit to buy. We sell it for $15 US, or in UK we sell it for £12. It sells like hotcakes, and it's very easy to ship. And whenever it gets like damage in shipping, right, just send another one lah. It's so cheap, right? So it got rid of his. So this is his shop. It got rid of his inventory problem, but it also created a new revenue stream for him, right? And so this is part. You can say that this is like growth hacking, but I like to see this as like sort of like driving incremental revenue, right, for his business. And you know what? Like from just targeting Malaysia, now he's international, so to speak, right? So he is his eBay name is great.bmwdeals. Started over 15 years ago, right? Positive feedback, right? 100% all the way. So focus a lot on like customer satisfaction, and that's proven to work obviously in eBay. And guess how much he was making just by one person, right? Manning this, from listing the products, taking photos, going to the factory or the kilang, taking the product, wrapping it, and then sending it over. Just one person, right? Extra 25K a month just for his business alone. So his business drives about like 10 million. But so this is actually quite, you would say it's like a rounding error, but it's not really, because it solves his inventory space. He can put in more products, right? So the incremental benefits is more than that. Yeah. So you can say that it's actually growth hacking in a way, or coming up with a new sales channel or driving growth for his business. So in Google as well, right? We've done a lot of things. We've done a lot of things to, in a way, growth hack. But the key point, the key sort of like a focus, right, of the founders, engineers, and product people is obviously to create like really, really good products for the end user. So in Google, you obviously know the mantra, we focus on the end users first, and then everything else will follow, right? And as a result, in the latest I.O., have you guys seen the I.O. Last year? We had 5 key products over 1 billion monthly active users, right? So it's staggering. Like every single product, it's in a way a standalone on itself, but intertwined in a way. So I'm going to give up. I'm going to have a little trivia this morning, since it's the morning and you guys need to be excited lah, to a certain extent. So you guys heard of the cardboard? Yeah. Any of you all don't have the cardboard? Only you? Okay lah. So, okay. So I'm just going to do this anyway because I didn't prepare anything else. So who can guess? Like what? So you have like Android, you have YouTube, right? You have Gmail, you have Chrome. Who can guess what the 5th one is? Having over 1 billion monthly active users. Yeah. Google Plus. No, man. No. You're obviously not following the news.
Like, are we not mentioning the search engine?
Sorry?
The search engine?
Google search. Correct. What were you going to say?
I was going to say Picasa, but now my...
Oh, Picasa is wrong. Sorry. I was going to give you the cardboard anyway. Cool. Congrats. Now you have 2. So yeah, it's Google search. So it's quite amazing, right? And it's obviously, building great products that led to, a huge customer adoption. But there are a lot of ways that actually Google adopted to drive like growth in the early stages without much spending, right, in traditional marketing means or even like digital marketing. So I wanna like maybe highlight a few. I think throughout the course, you guys will give like a lot of examples on growth hacking. But I thought maybe in relation to just Google alone, I want to show you guys like certain things that they did, right, to drive like more of their KPIs, what matters to each product. So for YouTube, the most important metric that we look at is watch time, right? And from the start, right, if you go to YouTube, there's this option for you to get the embedded link, okay? Embed it into your blog post, embed it into like a website, and you get to play the video from there. Okay, so if you play a video on any other site, most likely than not, it's actually a YouTube video. And it's cool because it drives like more people watching directly on the website itself, but it's actually a video that's pulled in from YouTube. And the advertisements will also serve from the video itself, right? The other thing that has been implemented more recently than the embedded feature is having an autoplay for the next video. So you guys seen this, right? Like you play a video, then if you don't do anything, automatically after like 30 seconds or 10 seconds, I think, the next related video will play, right? Interesting fact on GoPro. So I work very closely with brands who want to, go big on YouTube, right? And we consult on them as to how you go about doing it. So we always use GoPro as an example. So this is part of like growth hacking as well. GoPro, when they first started dabbling into YouTube, they said, you know what, we're not going to do any videos on our products. We're not going to like do any commercials or advertisements on our products and how great it is. But what we're going to do is that, because they were still a very small company then, what they did was they gave out GoPros to like various people, okay? And it got these people, like all these adventure seekers or people who, like to do extreme sports and all, to record videos using GoPro, right? And then submit it into their own brand channel and hashtag GoPro. And then GoPro ran this contest, and they got all these videos, the good ones, and say, hey, you won, you win some prizes, but the video is mine. So if you go on their brand channel, you can see a lot of videos about like stuff that is not related to their video, to their product, right? It's stuff related to like snowboarding in Japan, or like skydiving, or heli skiing, and so on and so forth. So it really inspires people to I guess buy the products eventually after being entertained, right? So I think it's a good way to actually do it. And then you obviously have like Cardboard and Chromecast. You may ask, like, how is this part of growth hacking? It's actually very much in line with us driving our adoption of the products that we have, right? We take like Cardboard, for example. If you use it with Android, you're actually, pushing the adoption of Android. You can actually watch, a 3D video, VR video on YouTube with it. You can actually view like your photos with it. So it makes for a more immersive experience using Cardboard for the existing products that we have, the core products that we have. Chromecast as well, right? Chromecast allows you to beam like Netflix, YouTube, and Google Photos, so on and so forth, onto the TV. Because we found out that people, when they want to get entertained at home, right, they watch a lot of TV. So to bridge that gap, right, Chromecast was actually a groundbreaking device. Yeah. Who here wants a Chromecast? Okay. Go buy it. 180 from Lazada plus a 1 year iFlix subscription. Very good, very good. So we don't do a lot of this. If you see like on our main page, right, the only thing that you ever see change is usually the doodle, right? But there are some rare occasions where we actually put something there, okay, to maybe commemorate like someone really, really special. So like when Steve Jobs passed away, we actually had a little link here that bring people to the Apple website, right? You may say that, stupid lah, it's a competition and all, but I thought it was actually a very, very good gesture. And when MH17, when the plane went down, we had a little candle, right, for people to sort of like say, hey, prayers are with you. But when Google Plus launched, it was a huge initiative from Google, as you all know, and one person thought that over 1 billion monthly active users. So obviously their PR did something right. But when Google Plus launched, they had a little arrow, okay, that pointed up to the top left. So back then, when we say the one unified Google bar, right, was actually the black bar on top, and at the start of the black bar was actually the Google Plus bar. It's you, right? It's you having that personalized experience across all Google products. And they actually put the arrow, the big arrow, on the desktop. So that's obviously to drive like awareness, adoption, and usage of Google Plus, right? And I think the most important thing, going back one step, right, the most important thing that Google did to sort of like drive cross adoption of all its products is to have that Gmail sign in across all the products, right? It was quite disparate at first. Like you need a separate login for YouTube, you needed a separate login for Gmail, so on and so forth. But Larry, our ex-CEO, said, stop that nonsense. We want one unique user ID across all the products that we launched, and it's very scalable as well, right? And that drove like obviously more adoption of Drive. Photos are used a lot, maps, and so on and so forth. Any questions on this so far? No? Cool. So there's obviously a lot more. Growth hacking techniques, right, that Google adopted, along with our other tech players in the space like Airbnb, Twitter, Apple, so on and so forth, that they use to sort of like drive more adoption, right? I think one interesting one was actually Airbnb. So when they first launched, they were a little known shop, but they used Craigslist, which is a huge classified site, right, in the US, to poach people, to poach listers, right? So people were listing their properties on Craigslist, and what they did was say, hey, you know what? To drive more supply, right? I need to go on Craigslist to get the people to use our platform. And initially, it was for free, because right now you have to pay like a high commission to Airbnb. So it worked initially. Yeah. So you know what has happened is that it has led to obviously a new generation of consumers across the world. Malaysia, Indonesia, no different. So you guys know this number. Internet penetration is very high in Malaysia. Mobile penetration is more than 1. It's, I think, for every 2 people in Malaysia, we have 3 phones activated, right? Smartphone adoption is like going crazy as well. So this 51% was actually like 1.5 years ago. Now it's probably like, I don't know, 70%. I don't have the latest figure. And if you look at like Indonesia, I think in percentage-wise, it's not as high, but in sheer volume, it's like tremendous, right? But I like to, so you know, when I walked in and Marcus and I were talking about like the camera, what's being recorded, I actually want to, so numbers and all is fine, but an illustration through like this picture, I think is more telling, right? So I'm going to give out another cardboard. So for any of you all who want to answer what this is showing, okay, what this is showing. So you see like intensity. There's intensity. There's a heat map. Okay, if you can sort of like give some hints as to what this is showing, right? You win a cardboard. Nope. We wish. So this is for those of you who don't know, this is East Malaysia, right? There is a capital here, Kota Kinabalu. There is a Kuching, but majority of the population, urbanites, right, is based out of like Klang Valley, Penang, Johor. So this is actually like very suburbs. These are like Terengganu, Kelantan. You know, basically the population is very low. Okay, but who can tell me what this is showing? No. Close. Huh? More what? Mobile users, close, but they are using a specific app. Yeah. Nope. Very close. No. We wish. Wow. So I work very closely with eCommerce, right? I wish that's the case. Huh? Search, no. Waze app, correct. Yep. So this heat map shows a usage of Waze, right? You didn't answer lah. So this heat map shows the usage of Waze, right, in Malaysia in a particular month, and the month was actually November, right? So I was very surprised. I'm like, okay, there is a lot of usage happening on the east side of West Malaysia, right? And then you know I work with a lot of traditional advertisers, traditional companies, and they say I'm not going to invest in digital because I want to reach out to the non-urban people. I want to reach out to the masses, right? To the whole of Malaysia. And the whole of Malaysia are not online. The whole of Malaysia do not have access to a smartphone. I said, okay, wait, you know, I have all this data. He said all this data is very centered around like the urbanites. This one actually dispels all that, right? This one shows that there's a lot of usage across Malaysia in terms of like smartphone usage. Because Waze, you have to have a smartphone, and you need to have data, right? And I always point out like, you know, here where all the Orang Asli settlements are, there's also usage of Waze. I don't know where they can go with that, but I'm guessing it's like some power users dropping pins, right? Yeah.
Must be ingress.
Huh?
How many active users of Waze in Malaysia?
4.1 million. Yep. It's one of the highest penetrated market. Yeah. And it's I think we're thankful to the traffic jam for the adoption of it. But having said that, like Jakarta is pretty high as well. Yeah. But it's not as high as Malaysia or KL. Yeah. So somehow this app really took off for us. And the funny thing is, so interesting fact, you guys know where Waze was originally developed?
Israel.
Correct. Yeah. Don't know whether the government knows this.
That's why it became a
US company?
They're still very much operating in Israel, in Tel Aviv. Yeah. So yeah, so like I was saying, the demand and all is there, right? The consumers are more or less ready for the next phase of like the technological startup, and obviously, there are million and one ways now to drive growth, right? To growth hack, and I always tell, I guess, like people who are starting up businesses, especially, two things, right? One is always have the courage to try different things. Always have the courage to try like different tools. And the tools nowadays are very easy to sign up, very easy to use, and most of it free, right? So like I was doing a project recently, and I was exposed to 2-3 new products, which I later found out is like valued over $1 billion, right? So one of that is a pivotal tracker. So don't know whether you guys use that. It's mainly for startups when they're building certain products, right? They use pivotal tracker to track like all the things or the programs, initiatives that are going through, and it's very collaborative. The other one is Slack. So you guys use Slack, right? Slack's amazing, right? And it's valued over $1 billion. So if I didn't, get out of my comfort zone from the traditional email or WhatsApp or so on and so forth, I wouldn't be exposed to these two great products, right? And lastly is creativity. So there are a lot of different ways where you can actually use like let's say I don't know, Pinterest to drive like more sales, or I guess Google Drive to increase productivity in the office, so on and so forth. You guys are the experts, right? So don't limit yourself to trying different things. And also, I guess like if you mix two together, it's really around like it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, right? So yeah, so I'll end with this, right? It's in a way it's like an advertorial, a content that we develop, the marketing team for Google Chrome developed. And Chrome, this was done quite some time ago, and Chrome was like an underdog, right, when they first launched. So you had like Firefox, you had like Internet Explorer, but now Chrome has taken over, right? They obviously have like more than 1 billion monthly active users, and it's the #1 internet browser.
Recently heard reviews that Google paid around $1 million to Apple for being the default search engine.
Is it? Okay. No comments. Yeah. And the marketing team actually did a very good job, right, on driving more adoption of Google Chrome through content that didn't really cost a lot of money. Okay, so I'll show you guys this. It's pretty cool. So they're trying to show that actually this is cached. It's not a live internet connection, but they were trying to show that if they click on that thing simultaneously, Chrome actually loads faster than the potato flying through. And this is the sound wave. Yeah, so this, I guess it says like before it reaches the highest amplitude, the Chrome has loaded. So there are a lot more videos that you can watch on Chrome particularly. That's very good. So I wouldn't say this contribute to the high growth that Chrome experienced, but it certainly highlighted like a few key things that Chrome was strong in, and it educated more than I think 8 million people who watched this video. So it's pretty good. So with that, welcome again to Google Malaysia office, and please have a good 2 days ahead.